You are now live.
All right, good evening, and thank you for joining us for the Mono County COVID-19 bilingual community conversation for Thursday, October 1st. I am Stuart Brown, Parks and Recreation Director and Public Information Officer for the Emergency Operations Centre, and will be your host this evening. Brian Wheeler is out this evening, working the front lines, delivering our many flu shots to the community. So Brian will be joining us for the next conversation. My partner this evening is Cassandra Montez from Mono County Behavioural Health. Cassandra, did you want to just jump in and introduce yourself and run through for many Spanish speakers what's on task for this evening?
Sí, hola, bienvenidos a todos a nuestra conversación comunitaria relacionada a COVID-19. Mi nombre es Cassandra Montes y soy encargada de la extensión latina. A recordarles que al inferior de su ventana en la pantalla de Zoom pueden hacerle clic a un icono que dice traducción y lo pueden escuchar en español. Esta noche tenemos a los panelistas del Centro de Operaciones de Emergencia del Comando Unificado, el Hospital de Mammoth Resorts y el oficial de salud del condado. Y les vamos a presentar un folleto que va a estar en inglés y en español para ustedes esta noche. Stu?
Gracias. All right, tonight we once again have representatives from the Emergency Operations Centre, the town manager, Dr. Tom Boo, County Health Officer. I believe we'll have the acting CAO for the county, Dave Wilbrecht. We have Sheriff Braun with us this evening. I know we'll have Dr. Craig Burrows hopefully joining us as well. If he's not on with us already. We have Rob Patterson, Finance and HR Director for the town, and I believe I saw Wendy on the call as well. So thank you all the panelists, and thank you for everybody working behind the digital curtain. Our IT and town staff doing a fabulous job, so thank you again for your support. As we always do, we'll begin with a brief update on COVID-19. That includes many updates regarding community assistance programs, town resources, county resources. So we'll get to that. We'll also answer your questions in the chat room first, and then if time allows, we'll get to any call-in questions. As Cassandra said so eloquently, meeting is in Spanish. So if you're listening to me in English, log out, log back in, select the audio option in Spanish and follow along. We're also streaming live on the Mono County Public Health Facebook page. So again, if you want to just watch us live on Facebook, that's the Mono County Public Health Facebook page. So again, thank you for joining us. Let me get to the presentation and we'll get to the many questions from the audience. So we have been promoting Stay Safe to Stay Open since we pretty much started the pandemic back in March. But again, we need your help to ensure that we are doing everything we can to educate ourselves, our friends, our families to stay safe, to stay open. So again, want to remind everybody to avoid gatherings of persons from different households. Wear your face covering in public when you can't maintain your distance of 6 feet, and recreate responsibly. And again, together we can keep our community healthy and safe, reduce transmission, prevent strain on our local healthcare systems, and help our communities thrive during this very difficult time. Looking at some metrics, we haven't been in front of you for the last month, so you can see not a lot of change. It's been pretty flat as of, you can see here, October 1st, we're at 167 positive cases. And again, this information is available on the web portal, just under case stats. This is the 30-day metrics. This was as of September 27th. So this gives you the positive rate per week. You can see we've tested in this period of time 550 people. We've had 4 positives, and again, that's through September 27th. And that's with a positivity rate of 0.73%. This shows you the same metrics, just in a positivity rate. You can see again from the beginning of September, we had 0 cases, 0% positivity. We peaked a couple of weeks ago in mid-September at just under 3%. And again, we're just under 1% on a positivity rate, and our hospital status is green. Just want to make sure everybody is checking the blueprint for a safer economy and understand what we can and can't do in Mono County. We are remaining in Tier 3, which is the orange or moderate status. You can see right there, Tier 3. You can see the metrics, and Dr. Boo will kind of walk us through this, I'm sure, when we get so many questions about why we're still here, how do we move forward, what happens if we have more cases and have to move back. So again, we'll kind of get into a little bit more detail in the Q&A. But again, covid19.ca.gov, or click on that little icon graphic you can see there on the Mono County COVID-19 portal. And again, this is a screenshot of the blueprint for a safer economy. All you need to do here is when you get to this site, type in Mono, and then click on the tab here, and you'll see the status of activities permitted in Mono County. Just want to remind everybody that we have a busy month in October. We're not only testing for COVID-19, but we're also running flu clinic schedules throughout the county. So from tomorrow, you can see we still are operating Verily testing in Lee Vining. That's every Friday, 9 a.m. to 12:45. Monday, the team's in Bridgeport. Tuesday, we're at Verily again at Sierra Nevada Resort. Wednesday, COVID-19 testing, and Friday, COVID-19 testing at the Mammoth Lakes Community Center. And you can see there, Lee Vining is the feature again for Verily. And then Saturday, October 10th, the team is up in Colville, delivering flu shots. And that is a no-cost program for any age above 6 months. This is the same information for those following along on Spanish. And again, all this information is available on the COVID-19 portal or the Mono County Health Department website. Just a quick update on the town assistance programs. Applications open for round 3. There's a total of $100,000 in total funding for this third and final round. And again, for more information, visit the Town of Mammoth Lakes website. You can actually click on the information right on the homepage. It is a news flash item. Or if you're really good and you can write this out, you can kind of copy and paste this in your browser. And again, this presentation is posted on the portal. And again, you can watch it live on Facebook. County assistance programs. So Jeff Simpson's assured me that this program is going to get underway shortly. You can see here's information on monocounty.ca.gov/economic. And you can contact either Jeff or Alicia on 800-845-7922. The CURE program has up to $200,000 of funding available from the CARES Act funding for businesses located in unincorporated Mono County. So it's very similar to the business assistance program from the town, but this is just for areas unincorporated in Mono County. Awards will not exceed $10,000. And again, you can look at the criteria there of what's permissible as part of this program. So again, information available, monocounty.ca.gov/economic, or just call Jeff and Alicia there on the number of 800-845-7922. Mammoth Lakes Housing is seeking to raise upwards of $300 to support much needed rent assistance payments through December 2020. We have over 50 applicants on the wait list, and this program since April has helped more than 500 Mono County households pay rent and maintain their long-term housing. So we are really looking out for the community to make a donation today to help our many families in need throughout Mono County. So if you can, please give. And again, that's at mammothLakesHousing.org. This slide is on every one of our presentations. I'm sure everybody is up to speed and has information available on how to contact us. The Emergency Operations Center is no longer accepting calls. You can leave a voicemail, but again, we're going to direct you to these numbers directly. If you have any questions at all that's not answered this evening, COVID-19 help at mono.ca.gov. Short-term rental hotline, you can see there, 965-3671. Town code compliance, 965-3672. There's your email addresses. If you wish to report a violation in the county, That's COVID-19 violations at mono.ca.gov. And the COVID-19 Week in Review is issued every Friday. Again, this is the information in Spanish for those following along. Again, we have a specific website for our Spanish audience and our Spanish community members, and that's monohealth.com/coronavirus-es. Our next community conversation is a Mammoth Resorts update, and that's going to be on Monday, October 19th at 5:30 p.m. So again, Monday, October 19th at 5:30, and we believe we'll have Mark Brownlee, President and CEO of Mammoth Resorts, joining us for the evening. With that, I'll stop my screen share, and Lauren will start with some questions from the Q&A.
For the flu clinic, do we need to make an appointment or bring anything?
I can answer that one. That's an easy one. No. You have two options. You can either drive to the flu clinic, or if you live in the vicinity and wish to walk, walk-ins are accepted. And welcome again, no cost, and for ages 6 months and older. There you go. I'll take the easy one. There's the softball question. Lauren, next question.
Yep. Is testing and availability a prerequisite for school buildings reopening? Are kids now allowed to get tested at any of the testing sites in the county?
I can answer that, but I think Dr. Boo wants to jump in and talk a little bit more about school and reopening and trying to keep our community safe with our school children. Dr. Boo?
Gotta find the unmute. Testing is not a prerequisite. We do plan to have some regular testing program for teachers and staff in schools, and certainly encourage testing of students, absolutely. And yes, children can be tested at any of the public health testing sites, but Verily is currently not collecting specimens on children, but the public health nurses will.
Thank you, Dr. Boo. I think everybody should be in Bishop, Dr. Boo. It sounds very relaxing. The many wildlife and the birds. Lauren, next question.
Currently, we do not have any more questions on Facebook or write-in or phone.
So let's go to any panelist that just wants to jump in. Dr. Burrows, did you want to just update the community on Mammoth Hospital, your current status, and how we're looking through the fall, and how important it is for everybody to head out there and get their flu shot?
Sure. So right now, despite COVID and the fires and the smoke, the hospital inpatient census and the clinics have actually been very busy, which is encouraging and is something we anticipate is going to continue to be the case, as most people viewing or listening would agree. Our shoulder season seems to be getting shorter and shorter. The people, once they recognize that Mammoth is beautiful in the winter and the summer, and boy, it's nice in the September and October also, less and less people stay away during what we used to think were quiet months, and they come in. So that being said, I would expect you're going to see in the month of October, and really up until ski season starts, you're going to see people in town, which means the importance of maintaining distancing, wearing a mask in public. And as we hit flu season, this is something that has been discussed at length among a lot of health professionals, and I'm sure you've seen it on the news as well. A bad flu season on top of COVID could potentially be disastrous. And some of the reason for that is simply the fact that it's very difficult to tell what you're suffering from. And even worse, you could be suffering from both. There is mounting evidence that if you get a flu shot, you decrease the likelihood that you're going to have significant complications, including dying from COVID. So we are strongly encouraging people to get their flu shot. Do everything you can to stay as healthy as you can, So if you do get exposed to COVID, or you become sick with any illness, including the flu, the likelihood of recovering from it, not being sick as long, and not having as severe an infection, those are all in your favor for getting a flu shot.
So again, flu schedule is available on the Mono Health website. Just click on the homepage there. It's under the immunization schedule, and that is happening throughout the month of October. So no excuses to not get a shot this year. I am just going to take this moment to update the community on some great news that we received today from California Department of Public Health. Now we can officially open our mini playgrounds. I know, right? Very exciting. So we have some guidance. There's still recommendations that have to be followed by our many users, our kids, but they will open tomorrow. Shady Rest Park, as you know, is still under a closure as part of the U.S. Forest Service special use permit. But the playgrounds at Mammoth Creek Park, Trails End Park, and the Community Center Park will all be open tomorrow. So again, please respect everybody's distance. Please wear your face coverings. There's some recommendations to limit your activities on the playground for about 30 minutes. Give everybody a chance to enjoy the many playgrounds, our beautiful playgrounds in Mammoth Lakes. And that's the case throughout Mono County. So, make sure that Tony and the team throughout the county are aware of that order as well. And if you're listening from outside the boundary of Mammoth Lakes, again, all the playgrounds are now open. And I think we're almost getting somewhat back to normal if the playgrounds are open. But again, maintain your vigilance and enjoy the playgrounds. Dan, did you want to jump in at all and update the community on any updates from the town?
Can we take a little pause for interpretation?
I can do that, yes.
Dan, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, Lauren, if you just let us know, that'd be great. So, yes, I think from the town side, the two things I wanted to mention. One was with the creek fire, we're looking at COVID here, but what it has done is closed, I think it's 8 forests are still closed within Southern California, which means you cannot go out and do anything on the forest. You can't ride your bike, you can't walk, you can't, run your dogs, you can't play out in the forest. So the forests are closed. The one element that they did do this time is some of the resorts like Tom's Place or June Lake Junction, or even up in the basin, if they're serving food and they're open, you can go in and eat a meal, or you can spend the night if they have inside lodging. All of the campgrounds are closed, and all of the fire restrictions are strictly enforced, no fire in the forest. And that is for the Inyo National Forest. If you want to get up and see some color, you don't mind driving a little ways, go up into the Humboldt-Tiobe National Forest, i.e. go up to Virginia Lakes, Twin Lakes, go up out of Bridgeport, go up through the Walker Canyon. And that portion is open to certain levels of recreation. They do have some fire restrictions in place. So we are trying to manage that as well as the smoke and the fire. And then actually with the closure of the forest, we have seen a lot of empty rooms, if you will, empty places in the town of Mammoth Lakes. And frankly, we believe that's helping with our battle on COVID. We have a less of a transient population currently in town. I think we even have less second homeowners in town than we did during the summer when we were closed down for COVID issues. So kind of a double-edged sword. As we're here, we'd love to get out in the forest. At the same time, keeping that population base, I think, is playing well for us in terms of the COVID management. All of that leading up to we're prepping for winter. We're beginning to look forward past the fall season, beginning to look at Mammoth Mountain opening, scheduled opening for November 14th, June Mountain scheduled for December 19th. And so as we look to that, we want to make sure we're prepared, that we've planned well, that we have mitigations in place, that we're able to do so really safely for our, the employees and our residents here in Mammoth Lakes and Mono County. And for our guests, we want them to come up and have a very enjoyable but safe experience. And so a lot of work and effort in the planning for winter becomes very important. We believe we'll have extra people in town. We're looking at some community host type programs so we can help direct people to other places if you want to go cross-country skiing or snowshoeing or snowmobiling or just, you know, kind of a hike in the woods in the snow, assuming all the forest is open by then. That would be able to direct people there and really give them a great experience here in the town of Mammoth Lakes in Mono County and the Eastern Sierra region, that it would be a very positive experience there. But all of this is balanced against the backdrop of the pandemic and COVID. We are in a tier 3, as was mentioned at the beginning of the presentation. It doesn't take a lot of cases for us to be moved back to a tier 2, more restrictive. And we're really hoping we're able to balance off and retain a minimum in where we're at in that orange tier or tier 3. If all things go our way, we could move into a yellow tier, a little more open. But if we can remain and be vigilant where we're at and have people, again, wear your face covering, clean your hands, respect distancing, and work through all those basic core elements that we have been pushing on and that people have stepped up very well. We see more and more people, you know, with masks and face coverings getting to be more of a norm. We see, you know, people automatically distancing in different places. And so thank you to the community who's stepping up in those areas. And we do have this kind of this shoulder season time to really get that ingrained in our own locals and our own activities. So when we do have people coming to visit, hopefully they step right into that same type of use of face coverings and good hygiene and distancing, and we're able to have a very successful winter. So a lot of planning, a lot of pre-work. It's good to see that we're moving in the right direction as we look to the winter season, as we hopefully get through a smoky and fire-prone fall here, and hopefully that's diminished here soon. It's very, very tragic to see people lose their homes and lives across the state of California and other places. That's been just heart-wrenching. You watch and listen to the news and some of those issues. We're very fortunate here that we have not had a fire that magnitude here in Mono County or around Mammoth Lakes. It's hard on the economy. It's hard on anybody with any type of breathing challenges with the smoke, and you know, being closed out of the forest is kind of a disappointment. But again, be thankful that you know, we are not having to come alongside neighbors and friends and families who have lost homes or lost loved ones in the fire-prone areas that we're seeing across the state burn.
We're just going to take a little pause and let our translators catch up, and then we'll get back into some questions. Thank you. So again, anybody just ask any questions in the chat room. We're also taking questions on Facebook Live. So if you're following along in the Mono County Health Department page, certainly pop in a question, and we'll get to that question, and we'll have Lauren read it out here on the screen for the panel.
Sandra, how long do you want me to pause for? Okay, next question. We check temperatures for employees at businesses. Have we considered checking temperatures of patrons prior to entering businesses?
Going to go to Dr. Tom Boo. Want to answer that question, Lauren? Do you want to just repeat that question? Thank you.
Should I go ahead or should I wait?
Lauren, did you want to just ask that question again for Dr. Boo?
Sure.
No. I heard it. In fact, I just answered it in the chat, I think. But yeah, that's a common practice in other places, and I think it's not a bad idea. I don't think it's effective enough by itself to mandate it. Many people who are potentially infectious don't have temperature, don't have fevers, and that's why. With our approach to employee screening, we're asking about symptoms other than fever as well as asking for the temperature to be checked. So I certainly think it's a reasonable thing to do, but I don't currently anticipate, putting out an order mandating it or anything like that.
Thank you.
And Laura, if we can add to that, with patrons going into businesses, while we're not requiring the temperature checks, we are providing hand sanitizer. We're continuing with that distribution. So if businesses need PPE, whether it be a face covering or hand sanitizer, we still have materials available for businesses.
Okay, next question. Do you know the mountain's plan for safely opening and operating this winter?
Yeah, so this is Tom Boo again, and we have not seen their operational plan. No, we have seen some ski area guidelines, which are very sort of broad and not detailed, but we're waiting to see the mountain's operational plan. I'll pause. Give me the thumbs up when I can continue. I'll add a little more.
Okay, Tom.
Okay. So we have been in regular meetings. I don't make it to the meetings each week on Thursday morning with the mountain in recent weeks, and Dan Holler and I, town and county, feel that they are working hard to come up with a way to operate safely and sustainably, this winter in the pandemic, with a big emphasis on face coverings and distancing. And we also understand that they will impose some limits on the number of people visiting on a given day. They're most concerned about the few weekends a year when they get, really large crowds.
Anything else to add?
Yeah, let me add to that. This is Dan again. They ran the bike park this summer, the mountain bike park at the mountain, which really gave them a good test run on face coverings and distancing on lines and limiting the number of people on a ski lift. So a lot of the lessons learned this summer will be applied this winter for the ski and snowboarding events, activities on the mountain. And then we are working with them, and we'll be looking at plans of how they manage the lodges, how they manage their food and beverage service, and how they accommodate people who maybe need some repair work on a ski or if they need to rent some equipment, they will be working through different guidelines to how to manage the on-mountain services.
You know, I might just like to let folks know that, you know, one of the barriers that public health, the communities face in doing contact tracing, you know, when we have somebody who tests positive, you know, we need those people to isolate themselves until they're no longer infectious, and then people who have been exposed to them, who are identified as close contacts, we need those people to quarantine. But we know that there are a lot of challenges, a lot of barriers to people being able to do that, and sometimes those barriers are economic. And so we hope very soon, within a week or so, to have a pilot program to provide some wage replacement to people who are forced to isolate or quarantine because of COVID-19. It'll be for people who are not on unemployment and don't have sick leave, but there are quite a few people in that situation. So we're pleased to be able to try this and see if it helps protect the public.
Again, just for the benefit of the audience, we'll try and focus our questions this evening on COVID-19. October 19th at 5:30 is a special Mammoth Resorts presentation. So again, if you're really interested to understand what Mammoth Mountain is doing this winter, which we all are as well, please, if you can, refrain and hold those questions until October 19th. It'll be the same format that we're doing here this evening. Thank you.
All right, next question. Rather than a mandate, wouldn't a business recommendation for safer environment be advisable for temperature taking of patrons? Not foolproof, but better than nothing?
Yeah, I think it's a reasonable thing to do. I would encourage businesses that want to do that to go ahead.
Is face covering going to be enforced for patrons?
Is this another question about the mountain?
I believe so.
Yes, they have been enforcing that at the bike park this summer, and it will be an important part of their operating plan and strategy this winter, yes.
Everything over the summer with Mammoth Mountain was outdoors. Tickets, rentals, most restaurants were outdoor dining or just to-go boxes, even at White Bark. Will that continue this winter?
Yes, I know the mountain is planning on having limited inside dining as allowed by the state opening plan. And they will continue outdoor dining on their decks or out on what they call the snow beach. So they can provide outdoor dining, and they will have some grab and go type setups where people can pre-order or very quickly pick up some food and beverage and then take it with you, whether you're going to a car or going to sit on a deck or out on the snow beach. But they will be allowed some indoor dining under our current status under the blueprint for safe economy. And I may add to that, for the businesses in town, to help them maintain their dining areas. We have allowed more outdoor seating area. And the question now coming up, is there a way to provide better tents or other covering that can help with the cold weather and still be able to do a broader area of dining indoor and outdoor? And that will be more challenging, but we're looking at options.
Yeah, Tom Boo here, and you know, the state's rules for outdoor dining currently specify that it has to be open on 3 sides. You can only have like a tent wall or something on one side. There has been a lot of interest expressed by the California restaurant industry and others in whether there can be some modifications that would allow more protected but still safe dining. And I raised that question with the state as recently as this afternoon, and there are no answers yet, but I believe they're thinking about it, among many other things.
Of course, as we look at that of our businesses and keeping them open and operating financially in a good position is very important to us, as that keeps our other workers in town employed. That allows for a greater experience of people visiting our community, and it is a goal we have, but with the safety of our community and our guests really our highest priority.
Our next question is there county oversight to see if schools are following guidance documents?
There has not been to date. The schools in the unincorporated part of the county, the Eastern Sierra Unified School District, opened last Wednesday, and I don't think we've made site visits yet, but we do have an agreement with the superintendent that we'd like to see how they're actually doing it. So we will do some site visits.
Thank you.
We are also looking forward shortly, hopefully, for some state guidance for Halloween. A lot of our normal activities have been canceled, but they are looking at some guidance for safe trick-or-treat activities for children to be out. And so we'll be providing that information as it becomes available.
I'll jump in here really quickly while we're talking about Halloween. Parks and Recreation Department will be hosting a virtual costume contest over Halloween. So look for that information in Recreation this week in our many emails, in our Facebook page. The annual Halloween Haunted Rink and Skate Party is categorized as a gathering, so that will not be taking place at the Rec Zone at the end of the month. Nor will be the Mammoth Trails trick-or-treating event scheduled on Halloween. So again, look for information soon from Parks and Recreation Department, but there will be no trick-or-treating in the trails this year.
Thank you. Do you think you will open the trail? I believe it's a Forest Service question.
I'm sorry, open the what?
I think it's
Hiking trails.
I think it's related to soft surface trails.
Forest Service.
Yeah. Dan, do you want to cover the Forest Service temporary closure?
Yeah, currently under the closure, all of the trails, the hiking trails, biking trails on national forest lands are closed in the Inyo National Forest and others surrounding us. If you wish to go hiking, you can go to our north into the Humboldt-Tiobe area. There's some beautiful places there to go see fall colors up at Virginia Lakes, Twin Lakes, and other places in there that are currently open and continue to be open at this point.
Yeah, and you could also visit BLM land in Inyo County and a little bit in Mono County. Those are still open. And again, the forest closure is unrelated to COVID-19, but because of fire risk and the fact that firefighters and firefighting resources are stretched very thin in California, and the risk of fire is extremely high.
Ingrid, did you want to weigh in on that? Sorry.
No, Dan, you covered it. It's a forest closure due to the fire threat, and it has been continued through 7 of the national forests. So we're not alone in this.
Yeah, the current continuation is through October 8th.
Thank you. As a teacher, a number of my students are pushing to go down to Bishop to trick or treat. Do you know of anything about Bishop trick or treat? I would like to know how to advise my students.
Tom Boo again. I do not know if there will be any Inyo County specific rules or regulations, orders related to trick-or-treating. I understand that the statewide Halloween guidance is going to discourage trick-or-treating as we know it, and will put forth some guidelines and suggestions for safer ways to celebrate Halloween. But I don't just to add, I don't think that the state's going to prohibit or ban trick-or-treating. They're going to discourage it. So I don't think people who choose to, go door to door, or people who choose to answer the door and give out treats are going to be, engaging in illegal behavior, just discouraged. I guess I would really like to encourage the community to continue taking advantage of the free testing, COVID-19 testing options that are available through the public health and through Verily. The testing times have gotten a lot better across the board. Results are usually received within 2 days, sometimes a few more than that. But just to keep tabs on the disease in our community and to protect each other and ourselves.
So we're just going to kind of let our interpreter catch up, and then Wendy, would you like to speak to our audience on any relevant, informative county services at this time? Thank you.
Yeah, I will go ahead and just give a brief update that people can go ahead and apply to any of the programs, the CalFresh program, the Medi-Cal program, the CalWorks program, which is like a cash assistance program, and our general assistance, general relief. We have our offices open in our Bridgeport and Walker area. And we are now located in Mammoth Lakes in the new county building at 1290 Tavern Road in Mammoth Lakes. And I'll let the interpreter. But yeah, just come and apply if you need our help. If anyone has any questions or wishes to get in contact with myself or any other worker, the phone number is 770.
Hey, Wendy, you froze up on the phone number.
Oh, oopsies. 760-924-1770.
Great. Looks like we've got a few more questions in the chat box there, Lauren.
Yes. It looks as though Mammoth has had no new COVID cases in quite a while, and all new cases are north or south, even when we had a ton of tourists before the fires. Is the local data reliable?
I think, Dr. Boo, you want to jump in there? I know we've had 5 cases this month, but you wanted to speak a little bit about the current amount of testing and the data that we're collecting? Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I do not feel like we're doing enough testing to really have, you know, a good grasp on what's going on. Even some people who have symptoms clearly don't present for testing. So and we've had to cancel, you know, a bunch of testing days, you know, because of the terrible hazardous air quality, and we're let me stop there for. So, you know, I don't think it's circulating at high levels in the community right now, but there's definitely more out there than we're identifying. And, you know, we're always grateful with each week that passes without somebody getting hospitalized with severe disease or anything like that. But, you know, it could happen tomorrow, it could happen next week. But I do think the masks and the distancing, staying home from work when you're sick, staying away from people when you're sick, getting tested when you're sick, I think those things work, and I think they've really made a difference. And I hope we can just continue to stay safe, to stay healthy and stay open.
Any other questions, Lauren?
We have had to keep windows and doors closed due to poor air quality outside. As a teacher, I'm worried about everybody spending all day and eating inside the school building. Can you offer any safety advice?
Yeah, no, it's a catch-22. We got two health threats. We know that we're safer outdoors with COVID, but when the air quality is so bad, it's not much of an alternative. I don't know enough about the quality of the indoor ventilation systems, but indoor HVAC systems, with good filters make a big difference. And I know that Eastern Sierra Unified has invested a lot of money in getting, simple indoor air cleaners, as have I at our house. And there is evidence that those probably help with COVID-19 as well as with smoke. So, yeah, face coverings and distance and the best indoor ventilation that we can manage with with our infrastructure and resources.
Are we all caught up, Lauren? Want to do the next question?
Sure. Dr. Boo, can you cite some peer-reviewed studies that talk about the proof of face masks of any kind stop the spread of COVID?
I think at this point there's too many articles out there to list them all individually. I think anybody who's interested could do like a Google Scholar search or something like that. There's growing evidence, both epidemiological and lab evidence.
I think the CDC would be a good source of information too, I believe, for everybody. That's the authoritative source of COVID-19 mitigation and prevention. So that's what I would recommend. Okay, how are we doing, Lauren? We getting through the questions?
Yes, we are. Does anyone panelists have any closing comments before we end?
No. Dr. Burrows, any closing?
I think the only thing I would add is that I think we're in a really good position because of all the efforts that we've made between public health and the hospital, and really enforcing and enforcing is not the right word, encouraging, promoting, and having people be compliant with the notion of wearing a mask in public and distancing. I know it seems like a simple measure, but if you look at areas like New York and Seattle and other areas that absolutely exploded with COVID, that's a lesson we should learn and not try to duplicate. So this is not something that's going to take a break. I have to believe that until you have a absolutely validated vaccine that is confirmed to work, we are going to be in this position where our best defense is preventing the transmission, as Dr. Boo said, by masking and distancing and washing and living our new normal.
with that, I believe we've got through all our questions. We didn't have any calling questions. Is that right, Lauren?
Correct.
Okay. Well, again, I want to thank many members of the community for joining us this evening for the monthly COVID-19 community conversation. Appreciate your patience as we kind of work through this new bilingual format. I just want to also thank our many panelists for their time this evening. I want to thank everybody behind the digital curtain for putting this on. A lot of work goes into it. We will see you on October 19th at 5:30 for a Mammoth Resorts winter operational update. I want to ask and encourage everybody to stay safe, stay healthy. And our friends at Mammoth Hospital keep telling us distance, cover, and wash. And we'll see you again on October 19th. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone, and to the translators, too.
Yes, thank you.